It has a classic design and an engine that sings.
The Acura Integra Sports Sedan.
If you close your eyes and think about Honda, these days you think about this, or these, or maybe even this. And none of those would have happened if in the late 1960s, Honda, a company known for building motorcycles, hadn't made the bold decision to take the American automotive market head on.
The finest Fords of a lifetime.
This is how Honda finally did something right and invented a formula that changed cars forever. How this little underrated car clawed its way to the top of the leaderboards and created a company that the rest of the automotive industry secretly hates.
Okay, real quick, if you're watching this, you're exactly the type of person who's gonna wanna know about this. We are launching the Ideal Collective, our very own car club where you could win a fully built Ideal ride. Yes, it's 100% free right now. Sign up and learn about it when it drops. Click the link in the pinned first comment. Get on the front lines. What are you waiting for?
This is the 1969 N600, a compact, fuel-efficient car aimed at the exact opposite end of the spectrum American motorists were driving at the time. Back then, American roads were dominated by massive, gas-guzzling tanks from General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. Honda knew that its cheap little commuters could and would appeal to a different crowd of underserved, budget-conscious buyers. You know, the kind of people that buy single-ply toilet paper.
What are you doing?
What? Single ply is just fine.
When Honda first introduced the N600 to US roads, the cars were met with intense skepticism, and it wasn't unfounded. Those early cars had a host of unexpected problems. Truth is, these new Hondas were pretty ill-suited for the long, high-speed freeways and diverse weather conditions that characterized America's open roads. See, they were never designed for the kind of travel we do here. They were fine around town and zipping down the road to the corner store, but jam one on the interstate or try to take one for a weekend trip up the Highway 1 and... Reports started flying in with issues like the cars constantly overheating, especially in the hotter climates of the southern US. The cooling systems in these early models simply weren't robust enough to handle long drives at high speeds, and the cars developed a reputation for being cheap, unreliable, undesirable transportation. And the sales numbers fell through the floor. As the issues with the overheating mounted, Honda's reputation was on the line. They'd risked it big to set up shop stateside, and if it didn't work, well, Honda would have to go back home with its tail between its legs. Millions of dollars worse off. But for Soichiro Honda, the company's founder and fearless leader, failure simply wasn't in his vocabulary. Honda Motors knew that it needed to act fast to save its image and prevent the defeat of its automotive division. So Soichiro decided to tackle the problem in the way that only the man himself could, by personally taking it head on. Honda and his team of engineers began an extremely rigorous research and development process to improve their cars in their entirety and solve the cooling system problems once and for all. They set sail for US shores to more closely study the driving conditions and traveled throughout the country collecting first-hand information from their customers. They even bought up a few American cars from Detroit's Big Three and completely dissected them to learn not only how to build a car better suited for America's needs, but also how in the world companies like GM were able to easily manage the heat coming out of 500 cubic inches, while Honda struggled to manage 500 cubic centimeters. After months of research and development, the team made several crucial changes to the cooling systems of their cars. They increased the size of the radiators, improved the efficiency of the water pumps, and enhanced the overall airflow within the engine compartment. And with the overheating problems addressed, Honda turned its attention to marketing. The company developed a new advertising campaign emphasizing the improved reliability and efficiency of its cars. Honda continued innovating, and by combining Japanese manufacturing excellence with some American influence, the single most important namesake the company has ever had was introduced. Welcome to the Honda Civic. The first-gen Civic quickly gained popularity for its fuel efficiency, affordability, and innovative compound vortex-controlled combustion engine technology, or CVCC to you and me. The Civic became the first car to pass the stringent US Clean Air Act emission standards without the use of catalytic converters, further solidifying Honda's image as an eco-friendly automaker. As the story goes, Soichiro stated that every time the government proposes stricter standards, GM hires 100 more lawyers, while Honda hires 100 more engineers. And almost as if the gas crisis of the early 70s was conspired by Soichiro Honda himself, as Americans were running out of the oil needed to feed their big V8 bruisers, there was Honda, an affordable, well-made, supremely efficient little car that didn't measure fuel consumption in gallons per mile, but miles per gallon. Neither Ford, GM, nor Chrysler could have seen it coming. But in an instant, cars like Honda's little Civic became the hottest thing on the market. As the years went by, Honda kept introducing new models and features that had massively appealed to the US consumer. The Accord, for instance, introduced in 1976, was another instant hit, and remains one of Honda's most iconic models to this day. And it didn't stop there. Of course, there's the Prelude, the CRX, and the world's first truly daily drivable supercar, the NSX. Then there's the legendary S2000, a whole flood of top-of-the-pack SUVs, vans, and even a few generations of pickup trucks, an entirely new line of luxury cars built specifically for the US market with Acura, and that's all before we dip our toes into the Honda Motorsport pool.
His right hand as he changes gear.
For the Civic though, Honda rolled out a special model that gets us enthusiasts fired up to this day, the Type R. The first Civic Type R, sold as an Acura here in the States, was a stripped down and beefed up factory racer, sporting the now renowned 1.8-liter VTEC equipped B18C that could rev to 8,400 RPM. It made 195 horsepower and 187 pound-feet of torque, making over 100 horsepower per liter, a metric that's still rare for a road-going production car to this day. All that power was sent through a close ratio manual and then out through a factory-installed limited slip differential. Couple that with substantial weight savings over the non-R model using tricks like omitting the noise insulation and making the stereo a factory deletable option, and it's easy to see why the Type R wasn't just one of the most exhilarating and best handling front-wheel drive cars of its time, but is to this day one of the best driver's cars you can buy, full stop. And don't even get me started on the present-day Type R, a car deserving of a separate video altogether. Honda has consistently built some of the best small displacement high performance engines that have won over an entire generation of tuners. You have Honda's B series with VTEC, like the one found in the Integra Type R. The F20C, that's a 2-liter, making an incredible 120 horses per liter in the S2000. That's more power per liter than the Ferrari 458 and the Bulletproof K series, which at this point has probably been swapped into more cars than the Chevy LS. Honda's dedication to innovation, quality, and technology, not to mention a laser focus on customer satisfaction, forced them to rise above those initial setbacks and establish themselves as a true automotive juggernaut, not only in Japan and the US, but across the globe. It's one of the only manufacturers that not only truly rivals Toyota in overall reliability, but stares down racing legends like Ferrari in Formula One. From those early struggles to adapt their vehicles to the unique demands of the American market, Honda's relentless pursuit of improvement and innovation has pushed them to become one of the most respected and successful automakers in the world. Honda is constantly pushing the envelope, not only in the automotive industry with cars like the hydrogen-powered Clarity, but in robotics and even aerospace as well. And it all started with big determination from a little Japanese company that simply decided failure is not an option. The end result is one of the most admired car companies in the world that most of their competitors secretly hate. It's the tall, dark, and handsome jock that aces the final, gets the girl, scores the winning touchdown, and is nice to everyone, even you, the weird car nerd that doesn't really fit in. And that is how Honda changed cars forever. If you liked this video, well, please give it a like, and consider subscribing to Ideal for more stories like these coming along very soon. My name's Trav, this is Ideal, and I'll see you all in the next one.